If you're a truck driver running ELDs every single day, whether you're new or you're a rookie, here's the harsh truth. One small mistake or even an edit on your log can put you out of service right on the spot. I'm a state DOT cop and I see the same violations over and over again. So in this video, I'm gonna pull back the curtain on exactly what us DOT cops look for in your ELDs and how you can be as prepared as possible when we ask you to transfer your ELDs to us. I'll be honest, a lot of y'all are straight up getting flagged before we even receive your ELDs from you. And that is before we even ask you, hey, can you transfer your logs to me? And one of the biggest ways and easiest ways to get the violation for not knowing how to properly work your logs, transfer your logs, or work your system is going to be when we say, hey, can you transfer your logs to me? And you look at us like, what? Or you say, I don't know how to transfer my logs. Or, oh, technology sucks. This is a new system. I don't know how to do any of it. That can be written down as a violation. So all in all, just know how to work your logs, or at the very least, know how to transfer your logs when we ask you to transfer them to us. Nothing is more annoying for both people, both driver and inspector, when you have to like climb into someone's cab and grab their tablet or iPad or whatever and sift through their log system and do the transfer for them. That should not be happening. You should be able to transfer your own logs to us. As you can kind of already tell, this video is going to break down a bunch of the most common ELD violations that I see, but also tips on how you can fix them easily right now as you're in your driver's seat or in your sleeper berth. So another one of the most common ELD violations I see are drivers who are driving while their duty status says personal conveyance or off duty. Now this doesn't always have to be malicious. Some drivers legitimately forget, but that's a really big thing to forget. Some people just forget to go back on duty or driving when they get off their break, which if not explained or if they don't make a note about that, if they get pulled for an inspection and they are saying that they are off duty but they are driving, that's no good. And that's a pretty serious hours of service violation. The next thing I see people doing are falsifying their logs. Don't do it. Don't do it. A lot of times you'll see logs that are like, people are trying to say that they are taking a break, but they are driving and they're manually going in and changing things in their log. That can get you jammed up pretty bad. At the end of the day, if your GPS data, your fuel stops, your scale stops, or anything like that do not match up, we're going to look through your logs and we are trained to look for certain things. You're going to get jammed up. So do not falsify or edit your logs for no reason. Another common ELD mistake or violation that I see is going to be unassigned driving time not even accounted for. If your truck has unassigned miles and you can't explain it, you can't, if you don't have a note in there explaining why these miles are unassigned, it's not going to be good for you. So for whatever reason, if you can't find a parking spot or if all the truck stops are full, again, we're all human. I've seen this before where truck stops are legitimately full and guys have to keep driving to another place. So there's like mileage that's kind of unaccounted for, but they put in notes there and everything ends up being okay because if their story tracks, then we're all good. So as DOT cops, we expect you to either claim it or explain it, one of the two. Before we move on to the next common ELD violations and mistakes, go ahead and like and subscribe because I drop weekly videos on everything DOT that you can think of that's going to help you become a better driver, stay safe, save money, and keep rolling. Back to it. So the next common ELD mistake and violation that I see is that drivers are driving around without ELD instructions, like the instruction manual, and without a malfunction manual, which can be a violation in and of itself. Because if you don't have instructions explaining how to work your ELD, how to enter notes, how to handle it when it malfunctions and everything like that, then it can set you up to be stuck on the road. It can just put you in a really bad spot. So make sure whether you're an owner operator or if you work for a company, make sure that that binder or that instruction booklet is always in the truck. If your ELD goes down, you're supposed to always have a backup plan. Always have a backup plan. Now here's another violation or mistake that we talked about earlier, but I want to bring it back, and that's not knowing how to transfer your logs to us, whether that's emailing it to us or transferring it by web service. That can be written down as non-compliant. So again, read in your manual and learn how to transfer your logs. I promise you it's not hard. You can figure it out in under 2 minutes, either with, playing with your tablet or whatever, or looking in the manual if you have one. Now, myself and many other inspectors, we've given these violations that I've talked about in this video to several drivers. Honestly, not because we want to, but because that's just part of the federal regulations. And while I'm a pretty reasonable inspector, there are certain things that people have to learn, and some people don't learn unless they either get a violation or a verbal or written warning about whatever it is that they're messing up. There's been countless times where I see the same people and I verbally tell them something over and over, and I see them a fourth or fifth time, and the same mistake is still happening. So that's why violations have to be dished out sometimes. The craziest part of it all is that most of these violations are completely preventable and they're not anything too hard and intricate. So right now, I'm gonna give you our actual mental checklist that we go through when we ask you for your ELDs, whether that be paper or like I just said, ELDs, and when we have you transfer your logs. I'm gonna tell you what we run through in our head in an exact checklist form. So if you haven't paid attention all video, you might want to pay attention now. So in our head, before we even get your log, before we even receive whatever you may have, we are thinking, are your logs current to the last duty change? Do the hours of service rules match your operation? Are any edits suspicious or very frequent? Does the ELD screen show location data and time? And does your carrier have a history of hours of service violations? And those are 5 things that we mentally run through in our head and that we're thinking about as we're either approaching to get your logs or as we're looking at your logs. Those are kind of the red flags that we're looking at on our screen to see if things need to be looked into more in depth. So it may look as if we're just glancing at our computer screen and saying, oh, yep, everything is good. That's not the case. We're actually trained to look for certain things and certain red flags that stick out to us. While being proficient with your ELD and your logs is extremely important, being proficient with the English language is even crazier of importance because that can land you out of service. And I have a video explaining that right up here. Now, when it comes to hours of service, yes, it can be tricky. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, all this stuff is so simple, everyone should know how to do it. Yes, it can be tricky, but I'm gonna give you a list of things that can make it 10 times easier for you right now, and it's gonna help you stay in compliance. Now, I know this is a tough topic, so if at any point during this video you have any questions at all related to hours of service or anything else CDL related, comment it down in the bottom and I will get back to you. Always double check your status before moving. Know your ELD system front to back. Like I mentioned before, have that manual with you as well, just in case. Keep your ELD instruction card and malfunction card in the cab with you. Assign unclaimed driving time daily. Know how to transfer your logs. Know how to transfer your logs, practice it, and test it daily or monthly if you need to. And avoid editing logs unless you absolutely need to. But if you do edit it, make sure that you put notes on why you did what you did, okay? And those 6 things right there are gonna have you in a pretty good spot. Those are 6 things listed out pretty much in a checklist. So if you follow those things, you're already on your way to being in way better compliance. Again, this is for if you are an experienced driver or owner operator, or if you're newer in the trucking business. Your logs or your ELD are not your enemy, but I promise you, if you don't pay attention to it, if you put it on the back burner, it's gonna cost you time, violations, and most of all, money. And we don't want things costing us money and stopping us from driving, because that, again, is how you lose money and possibly your CDL if things get to that point. If this video helped you, then I know that all my other videos on my channel is going to help you as well. So click on my channel page and check out all my other videos. Like, subscribe the video, and until next time, stay safe and keep rolling.